So when I was in college, it got to a point in my life when I was actually like on the outside of my life, it seemed like I had everything together, like good grades, relationships, making good money. It seemed like everything was kind of put together, but on the inside, for some reason, I just felt alone and isolated and empty all the time. And it kind of came to a head for me my junior year in college when I actually just considered taking my life, just because I felt like I was just so alone. And it didn't really make sense to me until someone showed me Jeremiah 2. And here's what he says in Jeremiah 2, verse 12. This is Jeremiah the prophet speaking. He says, "Be appalled, O heavens, at this, and be shocked and be utterly desolate, declares the Lord." So God is saying there's something going on here that we need to be amazed and shocked by. Like, we should be stunned by what's taking place. And there's two things going on. Number one, in verse 13, he says, "My people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me," or turned their backs on God, "the fountain of living water." So we've turned away from God and we have dug our own cisterns for ourselves, broken cisterns that can hold no water. So he's saying, instead of turning to God in our lives for the spring of living water is who he is, we have dug our own cups. Cisterns were like cups or wells in the water. We have dug our own cisterns that can hold no water because they're broken. And so what we do is we try to pour in all these things in our life, but there's a fundamental problem, and it's that the cistern is broken. And so for me, I would try to pour in whatever it is I could get my hands on, whether it was wealth or success or drinking or whatever it might be, relationships. And those things would feel good in the moment, and they would be, they would do me right in the moment. But at the end of the day, what would happen is I would just go to bed and I would just feel empty and alone and isolated again and again and again. And I thought, man, there's got to be a problem with this. There's got to be something more that I was created for. And even as St. Augustine, he put it this way. He said, "God, you have made us for yourselves, and our hearts are restless until they rest in you." And so I didn't realize that God had made me for joy and satisfaction in him, and I had turned my back on him, and I was trying to find it in all the gifts that he had given to me. God had given me all these good things, and I was using them for my own selfish gain rather than using them in a way that glorified God. And I love the promise in Jeremiah 31. And God says there's going to become a time when I'm going to, he says, "I'll forgive their iniquity, I'll forgive their sins, and I'll remember them no more." There would come a time when God, in his grace, in his mercy, would send Jesus Christ to make a new covenant, a new promise with us. He would give us a new heart, and these hearts of broken cisterns that we once had would now be covered in the blood of the Lamb. He would die and pay the penalty that we deserve for our rebellion, and he would give us his righteousness. And so now, when we take the gifts of God and even the good things that he gives to us are now gifts that we use in our new hearts in a way that gives him glory and pleasure and gives us the greatest joy, to the point where maybe even our cups are overflowing. So if you ever find yourself in a spot where, man, you're just lacking joy and satisfaction in life, it could be that maybe you're drinking from a broken cistern, and it could be that this could be a time for you to turn to Christ, put your trust and your faith in him, and find what it is that he has really made you for.